dude, it's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Official podcast studio setup.
This is cool compared to the Riverside setup.
A little bit cooler, a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to run through a testimonial today.
Yeah, let's do it.
To run. All right, cool. So, for those people who don't know, what is your name and the business you run?
My name is Mike Landa. I run an online fitness coaching business, Strength and Mindset. So I mainly focus a lot on mindset. Honestly, about 80% of my clients are a lot of mindset training. But obviously the fitness part is a huge aspect of what I coach with. And I would say 80% men. I coach a good amount of women too, but yeah.
Nice. Where was the business at pre Full-Time Fit Coach, and where is it at now?
Pre full-time, I was like around 3.5. I hit 5 at one point, and then at that point, it was my best month in September of last year, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, during prep, I remember that. It was like a 5-month or a 6K month, and I got a plaque from PTBI.
Love Zach.
Yeah, from Zach, and I got that. That was fun. That was a fun. And then I kind of let off the gas for that whole year. The next month after that was the show. And after that, I was just kind of focusing on myself a lot, but also trying to just be a better coach. So I didn't really get a lot of time to pour into more lead gen or pour into more DMs. I was just kind of floating with whatever I had. So before I was around that range, just covering 3.5 to 5. And I wasn't seeing much growth. It was just kind of like this stagnant area where I thought, it's a livable wage for what I was doing at the time, but it's not like something that I would want to maintain forever. I knew I needed to see growth, and I just needed to sack up and see where I needed to go. And then I met Zach. Zach told me, I remember the day that I went to the gym with him, because that's when I first moved out to Austin. And then he was like, I'm working with this coach. I'm looking, because I had a call right with Tanner
Chittister.
There we go. I can never say his last name. I had a call with him set up that week, and then I met up with Zach at the gym, and he's like, why don't you book a call with my coach? I was like, who's your coach? And I've never heard of you before then. And he's like, yeah, he's good. He knows the Zach that we talk about, the other Zach, Zach Colburn. And after that, the way you spoke when we were on our call too, it was just very concise, and you were very flowy, and I resonate with the way that you speak in general, because it's just there's no pauses, and that's something that I admire, because I need to work on that. So especially with speaking in public or just speaking to clients in general, getting effective communication is something that I'm working on. So I was like, okay, I can learn. And that's ever since then, it's been a lot of learning, with application, and then just finding what works. And now I've hit 10K, 25K, 15K months. So it's been great. And this month, I don't know where I'm at. I don't like looking in the middle of the month. It freaks me out. Not freaks me out. It psychs me out.
Yeah.
But I know that I could still do better this month. There's just a couple days left of the month, regardless of
week and a half. We got
holidays. Yeah. It always happens at the end of the month, dude. I always do my best.
Yep.
It's wild. Like, crunch 5 days, I'll get like 3 paid in fulls. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did these come from? Where were you 2 weeks ago?
You're like projecting for your month, and you're like, oh, I'll probably end at like this number, and then it's thousands of dollars higher after the last couple. It's been the same in every business I've ever run. I don't know what it is, but I think it's that Monday fresh start vibe, right? People start looking at oh, new month, new me, new week, new me, new year, new me. It's all kind of the same.
Exactly.
There's buying decisions, but dude, that's so crazy that you were able to go from like 3 to 5K to what did you feel when you hit 25K that month?
That was, I don't know how to explain it. It was, I did a video, just a video to myself.
Yeah.
Right. Just kind of explaining like gratitude. And that month I almost started crying. I was like, holy shit, this is everything that I was trying to create like years ago. And I didn't know what really changed up until the fact that you know how you asked Heather, or no, Matt asked Heather this question. He's like, what were you doing when you were hitting 35K months that changed up until now? And she's like, nothing, but except I was reaching out to clients and doing specific, talking to them, creating more effective conversation, getting to know them. Yeah. And that's where I really was at too in 25K. Like that month of September, I was really getting to know everyone in my lives, in the DMs, and in person on our calls, being really authentic. And being authentic really allowed me to like just allow more of that abundance to come in. And I felt more myself. I felt like this is what I deserved. Yeah. And I felt as though it was just a long time coming, because I knew it was always written. I just never knew when it was going to come. And that's not my, it's not my job to know when it's going to come. But now it's more realizing that how can I create more of it? How can I allow more of this abundance to come in? And it allowed a lot of the scarcity to leave. And that's just, it let me be more myself. That's more than anything. Like, I didn't have to feel like a salesy coach anymore. Like, I didn't feel like I had to force people to stay into the program, force people, to convince them on the sales calls. Like, if they weren't meant for the program, they're not meant for the program. And whoever was meant for the program came in, and that's what you were saying, the referrals. I had my very first paid in full that I had in September. She was my first paid in full, doing the whole new system with the firm. Yeah. And she referred her dad. And I was like, okay, if I can continue doing more of this, if I can find clients where they love the program, teach their family and friends to do the same things that I teach them, they'll kind of resonate and pour in. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just like, how can I find more of those clients?
Yeah. I love that. I think it's kind of like what we talked about today at the Lead Gen Summit, is like, being less scared to be authentically you. I think so many people are like, oh, like people won't like me. I'm like, but so many people will. And so many people will like you so much more for the fact that you are you, and it makes you so different. And like you saw, there's like such a direct, tangible result. It's no coincidence that you said it, Heather said it. Like, everyone who had like a real big breakout month was like, I just was kind of myself, and I just was talking to everyone about it. And there's a compounding momentum to that level of success too, where it's like the minute you break out of lack and scarcity, you end up in this kind of field of abundance. And I think every coach deserves to be there, because you coach so much better. Like you said, you're like, I wasn't forcing anyone to do anything. I wasn't trying to like hold on to people so tightly, worried that they're going to go. I had given myself enough financial freedom to where I didn't need to be selfishly invested in whether this person stayed or not. If it was the right thing for them, then perfect, I gave it to them. And if it wasn't, I never would have to force it. And for you as a coach, energetically, you coach the best from that position. Your clients get the best results. And then in your mindset too, you're like, hey, for the first time in my life, like, I'm not stressed about like bills or how I'm going to do this. I can breathe. And then it's no coincidence. Like, what do coaches do when they can breathe? They coach more, and they coach better, because what they love to do. And like, if you could do it all the time without the money attached to it, you probably would. And so getting over that hump and getting to that financial abundance, it just opens up all the opportunity in the world to brainstorm creative ways to go higher. You're like at a different, your daily thoughts vibrate higher. You're at a higher frequency. You're creative. You're in your zone of genius instead of worried and in a position of lack. And I think that I think we see a lot of, people are like, oh, you have sleazy, scammy coaches online. It's like, maybe it's not 100% their fault.
V-Shred. I'm just kidding. Fuck V-Shred. You know who he is.
What's his name? Scotty and everything.
Scotty? Yeah.
Honestly.
Fuck V-Shred.
Yeah. But it's like, I feel like so many coaches just don't know how to be authentic, how to actually create an offer, how to communicate it. And so they're always stressed for money, and then they always come across as needy and salesy. And yeah, it's like, give yourself an honest chance. Like, actually learn how to create something, learn how to message and market it in a way that's effective, and give yourself the financial freedom. And then you'll be a 10 times better coach. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I'm still focusing right now, is the marketing and getting my story out there. That's where I know that I lack the most, or just need to work on the most. Because when clients come in, right, they'll basically tell me, like, I didn't know it was all of this.
Yeah.
Right? I just thought it was training nutrition, but you like teach us, you hold us accountable. There's these weekly calls, there's the bi-weekly calls. I'm doing a lot. Like, I was, like you were saying, if I could coach with no money, I would. I was basically doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to serve at my highest potential when I was making 3.5, 5. Nothing changed, except now I just do it to way more clients.
Yeah.
And it's
great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. The only problem to have is now to like free up my time. But regardless, it's more of more figuring out how can I free up my time and still deliver the same way that I want to, because it's more of like this, how do I explain it? Energetic, like not connection, but like it's like my baby where I don't want to let go of a lot of control. There we go. That's the word.
There you go.
Control, to allow assistant coaches and setters and closers to come in and be like, you're not doing it right, OCD. So now it's like, I still want to be able to coach and have people that come in and see the vision of my program and the brand and everything as what I see it. So that way they can sell the way that I sell or better, coach the way I coach or better. Just bringing people that I can learn from. Because if I'm constantly training people, it's like, okay, well, that's another client. Then I'm just it's like coaching another client. Like, okay, well, shit, that doesn't fucking make sense.
It's definitely the hardest part of scale. Like once you start scaling, you run into all these different problems you never thought you'd have.
Yeah.
But then you have them anyway, and you're like, well, I have them now, and I got to figure them out. And I think
out.
the biggest one, like you said, is like, it is like your baby, but you have to realize like it's not a baby anymore. It's
I
like
know.
5 or 6 year old that wants to run around and explore, and you gotta be like, oh man, like I've got to cut her some slack. I got to let her go out there a little bit and explore, else she won't grow. Yeah. And that's I feel it very, very to my core. Being a dad now, like I Ellie's 2, and I'm getting to see her have a little bit of independence and stuff.
Well, that's amazing.
And even in the tiniest little things where I have to like, I'm not holding her in my arm 24/7. Sometimes she's out running with her friends, and I'm like, gotta give it up a little bit. It's so relatable to business where it's like, there's times where you just always think you're right, and you always think no one can do it better than you, and you work so hard to get this to work, and half the time you're like, dude, some of it was blind luck. Like, I don't know if I could do this again. If someone comes in and ruins this, I'm not 100% sure I could launch it from the ground up again. It's such a risk, but it's also the only way forward. Yeah. And it's getting confident with that. Like with full-time, with Matt coming on board and becoming a full-time coach for us, for me, it's letting up a huge part of my baby. I'm like, he coaches clients full time now. He's some people, they work full time one-on-one with Matt, and I realized that it is twice as much work now. Yeah. To train people to be able to give a product or a service like you do, as it is to deliver the product to people. Exactly. But absolutely necessary. So you double your workload, triple your workload. In the short term, but it allows you to then have moments like this where like we're at an event and I'm getting to watch people buy into this thing, and I'm getting to watch other coaches of mine paint the same vision for people that I do, and I'm like, that's that's the doctrine, that's like what I preached. I'm watching someone else say it to people, and I'm watching them light up or have aha moments, and I'm like, this is working, this is worth it, it's worth the risk to build something bigger than you.
Put up the upfront work to just build more of the vision, more aligned people to come into the program.
What do you feel is the biggest skill you've developed since joining full time?
That's a good question. It would be a split between workload balance, because like going through the course, creating the scalable offer, doing all that work that we did at the front. Did the camera just turn off?
We might have. Let me check.
Oh no.
This one's good. If this one went off, it's okay because it's just my shot. Is it just black?
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably died. That's all good. It's okay. We don't need my shot because we'll just use clips from you for the end part.
Fair.
I'd rather I got plenty of headshots of me on this one.
Okay, that's fair.
So the biggest piece, workload balance.
Yeah, workload balance, because I was going through the course, going through the all the videos, and trying to still serve. Yeah. Do all the things, like learning something new, because there's always more. There's information out there from Colburn's course, right, for example, or Nick's course, or all these other programs that I've joined where I've learned the thing and I haven't necessarily mastered it. Yeah. So that's where I'm right here in full time. I'm trying to still master it because I learned all of it, but I'm trying to now apply it. There's a lot of acronyms you use, so which is great. So I'm like, okay, I remember that one. That one's okay. Now it's applying whatever I learned into coaching, but also like the scaling as well, because scaling is brand new to me. Yeah. It's like I ramped up so fast. Now I have to really, really balance my workload and still serve at my absolute potential to give people a quality product, service, and still figure out a way to scale.
Yeah.
Right. Which is like me trying to expand my bandwidth in order to do that. So that's where a lot of like regulation and a lot of hiring, like both the holistic stuff and the application stuff that are going to help me get there. But now it's a lot of balance, truly, a lot of workload balance, like finding where I can optimize my time, right? Because you were saying, for example, that setter that turned into a closer, right?
Yeah.
I could spend my time better closing, which I know I should, but like events like this, right? He had a call today. He was a no-show, but
Yeah.
like there's things that I can optimize my time with and still see potential scaling that will help me find a balance with my time. Because one of the things that I wrote down is not the biggest lesson that I learned, but things that I will be doing less of or more of. One of the questions, I can't remember, but I want to be cognizant of how valuable my time is now.
Yeah.
Because I was showing Steve, I'm like, dude, look at my Sundays and Mondays. Like, it's just stacked client calls, like 30-minute check-ins every single week. And I'm like, fuck, how do I manage this?
Yeah.
How do I bring
that?
how do I bring more people in? Like my time is getting scarce.
Yeah.
And now you realize I really can't serve everyone in the world. So I had to find a balance and give away some of my power, or not my power, but
Ownership.
There we go. Good word. Ownership of the program, the brand, to people that can help me scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing I've learned is now entering this new era of business growth. It's like scaling is I didn't know.
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
You're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I have more clients and money that I maybe know what to do with.
Yeah.
What do I do next?
Yeah. So now it's like not getting distracted too, because now that I have money, it's like, fuck, I like that car. There's an auction. I almost bid on like 2 or 3 cars.
Yeah.
On an auction site. I was like, but my hands still get sweaty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you have an abundance of money and income coming in, but it's like, I should be doing something better. Let me go back to DMing. Let me go back to starting. Okay, I got to do this. So
it's a never-ending battle, mindset-wise and physically.
Yeah.
If you were to, because you have been in many programs, you've looked at many programs as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to recommend full-time fit coach to someone, who'd you be recommending it to, and why would you recommend it?
I wouldn't recommend it to someone who has just started, to be honest. You do a lot more in-depth coaching. I'm glad that I mean, who's to say that my path is there's other people that have done different coaching programs that have gotten better, right?
Yeah.
Like Colburn's or Nick's, but no.
Tanner.
No. Mark, PT Domination.
Oh, Brian Mark.
Brian Mark.
Yeah.
There we go. Brian Marks. He's a good like first starter.
Yeah.
People that are like, let's just follow the script. You got the blueprint. You got the course. This is super scalable, and it's something you can follow easily, right? But this is more of like someone that has been stagnant for a couple months, not just for like a month or two, because sometimes we'll just break that by doing something small, as long as you know what you're doing. Anywhere between like that 5 to 8 range or less.
Yeah.
They've been stagnant, because this is like that extra push where, one, you have the accountability, because it's a more expensive program, but 2, you have a more intimate community, because programs where like PT and there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Great. Community is great. It's cool. But like, same thing. Your time is scarce. The head coach cannot coach everyone. So that's where I resonate with this program a lot, because I want to get to this level of high ticket coaching where everyone's really intimate in the community and knows the mission, knows the vision, and knows what I'm trying to teach, so they can teach it to someone else and refer to other people in, and so on. So it'd be more for people that are just kind of like stuck
in that like 3 to 10K range.
Yeah.
Dude, I like that. I agree. I think that's You have to have a little bit of know-how,
Yeah.
but if you do, we will force growth with you, and we'll
Yeah.
get you to that 20, 30K per month mark.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I know that Colburn has that, what's it called? His
Takeover.
takeover scaling. See, you're already filling in.
I know everybody.
You know everybody, bro. He has takeover, and I see a lot of the coaches that I came up with, they're starting to do ads and doing all that work now.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of all on the same path, like same pace. I'm like, okay, I caught up. But I chose a different path. I didn't stay with Zach. I wanted to, but I thought I like kind of dipping my toes in different ponds.
Yeah.
That's why I've had so many coaches.
Sometimes it helps so you get a fresh
Yeah,
set of eyes
get a fresh
on
set
them.
of eyes, just to kind of help. Because I mean, I've been to a lot of his calls, and his coaches that are in his programs, and they're great. I still attend them. Like I love them. They're still family. But now it's, how can I network,
Yeah.
right? Because one of my things on my projects is like network with people that have scaled higher, are doing more a month and a year, and have different visions, different perspectives that can allow me to grow,
Yeah.
and just bounce ideas off each other.
Dude, I love that. What did you put as your big goal for this year?
1 mil a year, yeah, the big goal, and then find a way to let go of ownership
Yeah.
and hire
You'll need
people.
it. You have
I
to.
need it to
20, 30, 40K. It's where you kind of tap out on the solo show, and then it's good
Yeah.
people will double that and get you to the $1 million rate.
yeah. So $1 million. I know I can do better too,
Yeah.
but it's also like I want to see how I can potentially grow the brand in different ways.
Yeah.
Right. I know that you had clothing and supplements and stuff
Tried
like
it
that.
all. Yeah.
I know, and I'm like, fuck, my clothing brand. I it's on the back burner right now.
The way to make it work, get massively successful in this first, and then when you
Yeah.
had like Christian, wildly successful with the gym, and then Alphalete really took off.
Yeah,
Yeah, the gym and the YouTube
That's-
channel really helped.
that's very true.
Yeah, so you could do the same thing: is get the cash cow rolling and get all the
Yeah.
notoriety that way, and then if you launch clothing, sometimes it takes off and goes big.
That's true.
But
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
dude, I love it. Well, we'll have you back in here when you hit 80K. That first 80K
Yeah.
month, we'll fly you back out here. We'll do
Yeah.
we'll do another session in person in the studio.
83-33.
83, 33, 3,
Yeah.
3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Well, dude, I'm so happy you made it out to the event.
Yeah, I'm glad
Congrats on
too.
the 25K month. We're
Appreciate
only
it.
going up from here. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what you do next.
November, I don't know it's unknown, so we'll
It's
see.
unknown,
But
it's coming.
it's coming. I feel a few piffs.
Hell yeah.
I got it.
Awesome. All right, dude. Thank you so much for
Appreciate it,
taking the time.
Yeah, of course.
Sweet.
That's good.